Hey, Zane here. Newsflash for you. Low-calorie diets lead to the yo-yo effect. You know what I mean by the yo-yo effect? It means your weight may drop, but then you gain it all back and sometimes a little bit more. Now I'm going to explain why that happens, and then I'm going to give you my solution for it, because it's just not necessary if you're trying to lose weight. So low-calorie diets basically means you're not getting adequate calories to support your current basal metabolic rate, your metabolic rate, and your activity level. So we drop calories, usually probably 25-30% of what our required calories are. So our body sees this happening, sees, okay, we can't continue this deficit, so it adapts proactively. So before, maybe you've lost some weight, but eventually it's going to say, hey, we can't keep this up for very long. We're going to run out soon. We need to slow things down. So it's going to drop your metabolic rate to adapt to the new amount of calories you have coming in. Makes sense, right? Of course it does. Your body's smart, doesn't want you to starve. So if you're going to reduce the calories, it's going to reduce the amount of energy it burns. You're going to have less energy. You're going to have less fuel burned for body heat, to maintain body heat, so you might feel kind of cold. And you're probably going to be a little bit cranky and not a whole lot of fun to be around. I mean, that's just how it is. And it has a few other effects that we feel, but a lot of times we're very hungry, and that's our body telling us it wants to gain more weight. It wants you to eat more. So you're fighting this battle. You're trying to eat less, but you're hungry and you have no energy. So all that your body's hormonally set to gain that weight back and to keep the weight on that you're trying to lose, but also gain back. And that's your yo-yo effect, because as soon as you start eating normal calories again, or like you're back to your normal diet, your body puts it right back on, because your base metabolic rate, your metabolic rate is lower, and you got all these hunger hormones telling you to put the weight back on, and in your brain, your hypothalamus is saying, hey, our set weight is up here where it was, a month ago or 2 months ago. And so it's working hard to get you back up there. So we have the yo-yo effect. A lot of times, because your metabolic rate is lower, you actually end up putting on more weight than you had before you start dieting. So it's a deadly circle. And it not only affects your weight and your size, but affects you metabolically as well, and in your system, metabolic disease, actually, leading to metabolic disease. So the solution, which I know you're anxious to hear, two things that one, you probably anticipate what I'm going to say. The other you may not have heard. A low-carb diet, eating adequate calories now. Adequate calories, so calories to match about what you need, so eating to satiation, okay? To being satisfied, you're not trying to undereat. But eating a low-carb diet allows you to keep insulin low, so that your body has to, it doesn't have as much starch to store as fat. It can actually tap into, when insulin's lower, you can tap into your fat stores a little easier. When insulin's low, we start breaking down triglycerides, which are fat, and breaking them down and using those fatty acids for fuel. And so the lower the insulin is, the more often insulin is low, the more you're going to have to utilize stored fuel, whether that's glycogen in your liver or stored fat that's in the muscles and so forth. So you want to keep the insulin levels low even while you're eating, so that it comes back down after eating more quickly, all right? And you're not causing insulin resistance, which you've heard me talk about before. When we have too much insulin going all the time, hitting our muscles, they say no more fuel, please. Insulin, keep moving, and insulin just takes everything the fat cells. So we want to have more insulin sensitivity in the muscles, okay, and be able to tap into our fat stores a little bit more. Now, the second technique is probably the opposite of what you've been hearing for the last 30, 40 years as well. And that is, eat distinct meals and then stop eating. No more snacking, no more grazing. 3 meals is plenty. 3 meals within a 12-hour window. So if you're eating if you have breakfast at 7, make sure you finish dinner by 7 p.m., 7 a.m., 7 p.m. Or if you end up eating late dinners, then you just need to start eating later in the day. And it doesn't have to be at 12 hours. Less is better. And if it's 2 meals and a snack, that's fine too. But once you stop eating, once you finish that meal, make sure you've eaten enough to get you through to the next meal. 4 or 5 hours maybe. Eat, 4 or 5 hours, no eating, no snacking, no sugary drinks. Eat again. And so if you're going to eat that few times, you're going to want to eat good food, good whole food, low-carb food, lots of veggies, some good protein in there, healthy fats like olive oil, avocados, and naturally occurring fat in meat and fish and nuts. So satisfying, nutritious food, and then stop. so that your insulin level, again, can come back down and your body has time to tap into stored fuel, stored glycogen in the muscles and liver, stored fat, okay? If you're constantly eating, if you're eating every couple hours and constantly putting food in your mouth and insulin keeps getting bumped every time you eat, you're spending more time being fed than you are unfed. And so why would your body tap into stores if you're constantly putting food in your mouth? Even if it's a small amount, you're just getting insulin bumps. Your body's saying, nope, 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 we've got plenty of food. Keep storing it, keep storing it. It's never going to stop. So distinct meals, okay? Compress it. If it's 10 hours, or even like some people do a daily intermittent fasting where they compress it to 8 hours, that's great. Eat between 12 and 8 or 11 and 7. All the better. But if you're just if this is new for you, 3 distinct meals, low carbohydrates, lots of veggies, moderate protein, healthy fats, 3 distinct meals. Eat and then stop for a while. Then eat again and stop for a while. Eat good whole food to get you through to the next meal. That simple. Now I know this may be, again, opposite of what you're hearing and seeing on magazines. And so if you have any questions, feel free to post them below. And if you know someone that could benefit from hearing this, please feel free to share or tag them in the comments. But again, I welcome questions. Feel free to post them below, and I'll talk to you later.